Hey entrepreneurs, Michael here to help you grow your business and yourself. Did you ever do a sales meeting that went really bad? I've done thousands of sales meetings and I've found my way to create insane business growth results, but it wasn't always great. And by the end of this video, you know how bad my first sales meeting went, and trust me, it was very painful. If you like this video, you know what to do. So, how do you grow your business and earn more money? Well, it's pretty simple. You become great at selling your products and services. And everything has a start, just like my sales meeting presentation did. I trust you will watch this video and get sales meeting tips and ideas out of my disaster sales meeting. So just hang on here. Let me give you a short background. I had just started my cleaning business, and this was my way out of a $1.5 million personal debt. And if you want to learn more about that story, I'll put a link in the description and I'll share a video about it later. Fact is, I didn't know anything about a cleaning company, and I was a very insecure, introverted and sensitive guy. But I had a big problem that needed to be solved: paying off the $1.5 million debt. So here's how the meeting went. It all started some nights before. I started to feel nervous about the meeting, and my mind began making up stories about how bad this meeting would go. Trust me, those stories was bad. And that made me feel even more nervous. And it was like a cycle, a bad cycle, just running faster and faster, and going something like this: bad story, more nervous, even worse story up here, and then even more nervous. Did you ever try something like this? Just comment below. So this is the shape I was in when the day of the meeting arrived. Nervous, and I didn't have a proper sleep for days, and I didn't feel good in my stomach. I was in good time for the meeting, but then I couldn't find a parking spot. I got more and more nervous. Maybe stress is a better word here. I was thinking about calling the prospect, but I thought that it would take up some more time and I would just get the car parked. Felt my heart began to pump faster, my head was beginning to be like a sauna, and I noticed that I sweated heavily. And now I got stressed, because what if they could see my sweat? I finally got the car parked, ran to the office, entered the door, stood there sweating and red-headed, and I was stressed. I was about to ask for the guy I was supposed to meet, and I couldn't remember his name. I opened my briefcase to find his name, and papers fell out of it, and I had to go on my knees, fumbling around to get the papers and look for his name. Felt like hours, but I got it. Stood up. I was about to ask for the person I was supposed to meet with, but then this huge guy standing in front of me. He looked at me like he was about to eat me, with a face that belonged to an elite soldier. And he was staring at me with eyes that was like cutting through me. He looked at me, and I was just like, I mumbled the name of that person I was supposed to meet. This huge stone-faced guy in front of me, he told me with a clear voice, "You're late. I got 10 minutes. Holy mama, I was to try to sell my cleaning services to this guy, the monster? Now I knew my sweat was visible and my head was like a tomato. We went into a room, sat down, and he just looked at me. And I never forget that silence. It felt like the clock just stopped. Later on, I learned how to use silence in a way that will help you a lot in selling. And you can learn more about that in my videos, Sell Anything to Anyone. And I'll put the link to that in the description below. I was about to say something, and this guy, he just stopped me. And he said, "So you asked for this meeting. What do you want to talk about?" I have no clue what happened for the next 5 minutes. As I remember it, some words came out of my mouth, but the voice, I had never heard that voice before. And I believe the words, they didn't make any sense at all. I had no control of the meeting, no control of my sweat pouring out of me, no control of my red head or my fingers that were shaking more and more. I do remember at a point he might have tried to help me because he asked, okay, so give me a 30-second pitch. I trained it a couple of times, but at that moment, I couldn't remember anything. I was just blank. I reached out after a glass of water. My hands were shaking and I ended up pushing the water and the glass fell. The water was all over the table and on Mr. Stoneface's papers. Then I tried to make a joke, but the only thing coming out of my mouth was something like, how about my sales conversation with my potential customer at this moment was none. It was a disaster. The guy just looked at me. Now his stone face actually got an expression. The bad thing was he looked angry. He said something like, "You got 5 seconds left to give me a pitch." I looked at him. I mumbled, "We do cleaning." And no more. That was my pitch. My stomach was telling me, get out of this office right now. We need to go. It was doing its best to get me out of that room. The guy didn't look very impressed with me. He just said, and actually he didn't move his lips, "You do cleaning." That I figured out. So he told me my time was up, and then he said, "I do believe you were nervous and I see you're new. So I'll let you send me an offer, and who knows, maybe you can save us some money and be cheaper than the cleaning company we use right now." I tried to smile to him, and then I just ran out of the office. It was a disaster. So I sent the guy my offer for the cleaning solution, and I thought I wrote a very nice email to him explaining what I wanted to tell him in the meeting, and if my lips would have cooperated with my voice in the meeting. He came back very short after with a 2-line email. "Thank you, we chose someone else, and by the way, that's the worst meeting and offer I have ever received or experienced. If you want to survive in business, you need to improve." Trust me, one part of me just wanted to quit the whole idea of creating a business. But my $1.5 million debt was a bigger problem than my insecurity. So I decided to get some help and learn what needed to be learned. The first thing I did was actually to look my fears in the eyes and call the guy up and ask him one question. That question, as scary as it was a giant leap toward more professional sales meetings and growing my business contract by contract. And if you want to learn what the question was and what my steps to a great sales meeting became, then check out the video, How to Do a Great Sales Meeting. And I will put the link to that video in the description. I believe that one thing that helped me to grow an offline business and get out of my $1.5 million personal debt was getting a coach to help me. And if you want help transforming your business and life results, I'll put a link in the description. So I would like to know, what is your worst experience when it comes to sales meetings? Just leave a comment below. And I'll look forward to read your comments. And if this video was helpful, be sure to like it, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and hit the bell so you will not miss any videos from me. And if you like to connect, I'll put the details to my social media below, and just feel free. I would love that. I'll see you in the next video. Make it a great day and be awesome.